What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm really excited to bring you some unveilings. So these are definitely not going to be unboxings per se, but rather different projects that I've been working on that I just didn't really want to do on camera. I thought it would be better instead to kind of talk a little bit about what I worked on and walk you through it, as opposed to showing you how to install and or do the mods that I had done or did myself. So hopefully that'll make sense here in a second. Let's get into it. All right, first up, I am unveiling the final build for my Spyderco Shaman. This one here I've been really excited about, and you'll have to forgive me when I install the CME for the first time. The extra glue gets on the nub, so the first 3 times that I have to deploy it, I have to kind of clean it off a little bit, and I don't know how long it'll do that for, but hopefully it'll break in. So if you're not familiar, OCD for EDC makes the CME. Most of the compression locks, like your Spyderco Para 3 or Paramilitary 2 or your Sage, most of the stuff with the compression locks doesn't have the nub that kind of intrudes into the path for the tab, and it makes it really nice because left-handed you can operate it still. So it's almost like a left-handed button lock on the Spydercos because they don't make left-handed ones. Now, trial and error to install it. As you can see on mine, it is favoring going forward a little bit, and that's because I do try to get it away a little bit from the nub. So I actually kind of hug a little bit closer to the front for the Shaman. So your mileage may vary, but I'm actually almost, I don't know if you'll be able to tell from here. So I have a little bit hanging off the back and none off the front. So I'm all the way forward as much as I can go with the compression lock on mine. I would definitely recommend that you test yours and check yours, and just don't worry about the glue. Once it's all kind of rubbed off, you can take a little bit of nail polish remover and it'll clean right off the bottom of that blade. No issues whatsoever. So let me walk you through the build. I have the RGT titanium skinny scales. They have the micro milling on them. I have the MXG deep carry Cerakote all black pocket clip. This is titanium also. I went up and picked out some black Cerakote off Etsy. I mean, it was really not that hard to find them, and I didn't really want to hunt that hard anyway. So these are all just black. I think they're steel Cerakoted black hardware, just to kind of accent the pocket clip. I didn't want to go all titanium because I felt like it would just be too much with the satin finished blade and the scale. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. And then I have this Meton Boss backspacer that didn't fit. It actually extended all the way up to here. So it was about a 50% backspacer, and it's raised a little bit. And I thought they had raised it and ran it along the length of the scales, but mine was actually sitting on the compression lock and wouldn't let it decompress. So I ended up just kind of marking where I wanted to. It had 2 more of these little notches here, so I just went back on those 2 notches. It was like the 2 notches were here, and then it had a little section, a little square section up here that took it all the way out. So I just took my Dremel, cut it off, and then I took some really fine sandpaper and just smoothed everything out to the touch. But outside of that, I think it's a really nice backspacer, and I really do like the way that it looks. I think that came out really nice. So that is the completed Shaman build. Hopefully this glue will dry. I am going to, let me see something. It feels like it's kind of bouncing off. Ooh. Let me see. And the CME is nowhere near the detemp ball, so it shouldn't stick to the detemp ball, but I think it is sticking a little bit to the liner. So I will finish cleaning this up after the video. Let's keep it moving along. I got a couple of projects that I sent out here, this was my fault. I didn't realize this was the projects I had sent out. I thought it was something totally different, and I was trying to cut at the top of the package, but it was so stuffed in there, I kind of nicked it right here as I came all the way across, and then I nicked it here when I got to the end. So this will just continue to be a transport pouch. This is a project, and then obviously you can tell now it's not a we, that I actually sent out to BGM Knives to get some regrinds done on some of the knives that I have that were a little bit thicker. And these are all hollow grinds. All of the knives that I had in my inventory that I thought had a rather thick grind to it. BGM Knives and Metalworks. That's all his information. You can email him if you want to use his services. He's included a little card, so I want to give him a shout out. These came out really, really good. So I'm going to start with the Clip Point Demco 80 20.5. Super, super thin now. Really, really thin behind the edges. I got all of these in. He heavily oiled everything, which I completely understand. But what I wanted to do was just take them all apart, clean them, put my own lube on them. I recommend no matter where they come from or who does what with them, that's what you do. And I still need to adjust them a little bit. I wasn't quite sure if I had them dialed in or not, so I apologize. This one here is the 3V variant. I believe I picked this one up from Knife Center. Yeah, from Knife Center. This one I've always had a little bit of issue with getting it dead center. It favors the clip side just a tiny bit, so I don't know if maybe that was part of the problem. But feels nice and smooth now that I've lubed it up with my lube, and it has, again, the Clip Point 3V hollow grind, and I had him put a swedge on all of these, a little tiny Mohawk swedge out on the tip. The next one is a project that I am still working on. I have some more things coming in for this one here. This one's going to be replacing the old AUS 10A all blue Arctic Storm fat carbon scales that I had on it. Yeah, nice and tight. I'm just making sure. This one here is going to be the S35 VN variant that just came out here recently. And I think I also picked this one up from Knife Center for some odd reason. I'm not quite sure. I think they got it in stock first, or I saw they had it in stock. I'm not 100% sure. But it has the shark's foot, really nice hollow grind on this one too. And it's so thin behind the edge, and then a little swedge out on the top. This one is to be continued. I am switching that one up a little bit since I had the Arctic Storm before. I went ahead and sold those scales in Backspacer. And since this one is the blue with the OG scales that I did in the, it's more blue. There's a little bit of purple hints around the edges and things of that nature, but it's definitely more so on the blue end of the spectrum and less on the blurple end of the spectrum. This one's done. I don't see myself doing anything else with this one. Skiffs, BGM regrind for the Clip Point, super duper slicey. It has the OG Backspacer. I mean, maybe I could change the color in the future. I'm not sure, but I kind of like the way the light plays with this one. And sometimes you get some purples and sometimes you get some blues, well, mostly blues. And this one here, I just wanted to do the regrind because I really like this knife and it's super slicey. Now with the hollow grind on it, you can see where the original thickness is back here on the blade stock. This one here, he put a swedge all the way across the top until he got to the tip. And all of them are his edges. All of them are his edges. He puts a fresh edge on it after he does the regrind. This one here is feeling a little bit snug as well. I'll back that out just a tiny bit. I can feel the bearings. That's a little bit better. Yeah. So just a few projects I kind of wanted to update. Like I have a bunch of knives out. I think I just got back my EMP EDC Nimble X from Satu Dave. He did want to check out the larger size, but I kind of figured it wasn't going to be for him. It's a super thin knife. Like it's thin like this. And I just knew, even though he wanted to check it out, that it wasn't going to be his cup of tea. I wasn't really surprised. But anyway, just some updates on some projects that I've been working on and some stuff that I had sent out to get worked on. This one here is to be continued, but the rest of these I feel like they're pretty much done. I'm going to leave this like it is with just some black accents. I'm not going to do anything with that backspacer. I just want to kind of leave that as is. Just a couple little things on there to give it some pop, but nothing really big. Let me know what you think about these projects down in the comments below. What are you thinking about these grinds? The grinds look really good. I don't know if you have any questions about any of the grinds. They came out really good. I'm very, very happy. These suckers are nice and thin now, so they're going to be really good slicey EDC knives. As you notice, I didn't really send any of my big users. These are mostly the ones that I EDC. But as I was saying, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you like the builds? Do you like where these are going with the hollow grinds? Love to hear your thoughts and feedback and any questions that you might have. Thanks for tuning in. Also, a special shout out to everyone out there that's subscribed, regularly liking and commenting on the videos. I appreciate that you appreciate all the work and effort that I put into these. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.